right. Tonight we're going to talk about my trying to get into Rocket Money to do budgeting. So, as you know, I'm still using Right Capital in the back end, but Right Capital did basically everything I needed it to, and now they won't let me show it on the screen, which is fine. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So, I'm looking for two tools, right? I need one to replace all my projections and revenue, and I am going to look at shoot, there's one other piece of software that I'm going to look at. I've got it on my list to do for the projection stuff. Um, but I've got to find budgeting software. So I've been looking at budgeting software. I didn't do the official thing and put out all the graphs and all that stuff of all the stuff I found. But what I did find is a lot of them are expensive. Like I'm paying more for the dumb budgeting software than I am for the future predicting my entire retirement software. So it's been kind of discouraging, to be honest with you. I landed on, I looked at like eight of these things, and a lot of them too, I'm a little disappointed with the model. Like they don't give you, Bolden's really awesome, right? They give you a taste of everything for free. And then when you want the extra functionality, you go for it. They should give you some sort of like demo mode or something. A lot of these places are like, oh yeah, it's like $20 a month, and you can't do anything. Like they should at least put it on like a time. Like we're going to give you 2 weeks to see if it's what you want. So I just encountered. I was really disappointed with a lot of the budgeting software. Um, you need a budget, which I think will probably be the best. It's just too expensive. I'm not paying $25 a month for you need a budget. Um, I've looked at the Dave Ramsey stuff. I looked at there's like five or six of them. I looked at one, Clio, I think. But again, same thing. It's like I had to buy $100 in order to see if it would do the budgeting stuff. So, so when I did my research on another scale, and hey, if somebody else has got some great budgeting stuff for less, just let me know in the comments. That would be sticking awesome. But let me give you the story behind Rocket Money and why I've settled on it. Whether I'll keep it or not, I don't know. I'll show you what I'm doing. Is I was doing a projection. I was doing different ones and signing up for them, and Rocket Money got it would seem to be the most reasonable. It was only like $6 a month or something like that. And to boot, it sent me an email like a week or two ago saying, "Hey, did you know somebody subscribed to BritBox?" And I was just like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So that was like $7, and one of my kids probably did it. And so I canceled the subscription. So I kind of went down the Rocket Money trail. I'm like, "Hey, that's awesome," you know. And so I was actually going to cancel it anyway, and I went to cancel it because I this is even before the Right Capital thing. Before Right Capital telling me I can't show it on the screen. And I went to cancel, and they said, "Oh, why are you canceling?" I said, "Oh, it's too much money." And so they said, "Well, how about $3 a month?" And so, so I was like, "Well, how can I go wrong for $3 a month?" So I went to $3 a month, and today I started like I imported all my stuff from my accounts into here, and I started using it as my budgeting tool. So I'm gonna kind of share with you experience. Like I said, I haven't been in it a lot. I have been with Help Desk a little bit. I spent like a half an hour with them today, looking for some basic stuff. I must say I feel like budgeting software. It's really good at like looking at your month. It doesn't seem really good if you want to hit targets over the year. So I'll just kind of tell you that right off the bat, and then we can get into this. So what I want to be able to see fundamentally, which to me everyone should want to see, right, is here's my budget monthly, but I want to see year to date how am I moving with that budget because I want to know if I'm running out of money, am I getting close? So if I have car repairs, for example, that I may have that budgeted at 60 a month, meaning 720 a year, but I may only spend that money when it hits. So I want to be able to say, hey, for this year, if if I budgeted 720, how close am I to hitting that number? Um, and that to me seems like basic budgeting. A lot of these budgeting platforms seem to focus month by month. Like, have I spent this month's money? Which I don't know. That seems really lame too, right? Because the whole point of budgeting is you're moving towards a target. You're not just, you're not just living month to month. You're actually moving to a target with savings. And, like for instance, I have my lumpy spending, which I look to get to be around $12,000 for 2 years for house stuff. So I want to see like how have I been doing with that, and at least the ones I looked at didn't seem to do so good. I think you need a budget, and maybe Monarch does really good. But like I said, I'm not spending 20, $25 a month on that just for budgeting software. Um, when really the importance to me in the budgeting side, this is the actual side. What do I actually spend? My other stuff is the projection, which Reason Bolden with. So let's just take a look at this real quick. This is probably I'll be here a lot, just not day to day, but as I'm categorizing um, my different transactions. So it was good. Like if you want to add your own categories, you just cruise into here and you go, and I have premium, and you go categories and you just add categories. Okay. Now, the first thing when I did this, I was like, well, can I assign an amount to a category? And you do that. You seem to do that month to month. And I think it carries everything over from one month to the next. So I'll show you that in a minute. But adding custom categories is pretty good. So basically, what I did is I went into my Bolden and just made all these categories, all my expenses, and just put them in here. Okay, so this is the dashboard. So as new things come in, I'll categorize them. That's pretty simple, right? Went to Taco Bell, you just hit this, you put in, um, you put in food or whatever. For me, it's miscellaneous. I don't go that far down. So miscellaneous, and I hit it. Now let's see. Now that's interesting. Taco Bell. Oh no, it's out to eat. That is the one thing I do is I do out to eat. And then I also have food before kids leave. So you'll see we went to ShopRite, 273, book it. Now, one of the really cool things I like about this that Right Capital didn't have is if you get one in and you want to build a rule, it's just so super easy, right? You just go in here, you change the category, and then it's going to notice when you change the category if you want to build a rule. So let's say I want a True Green to always go to gas. So you say car gas, it'll prompt you down here. You say update the rule. I already had one in there. And you just say, hey, is it contains, is it whatever, and it'll actually update everything. So I'm just going to say, don't change the rule because I don't want to mess with that. So this True Green is actually house, should be, actually it's lawn. So this just does a search. So we'll hit lawn. Okay, so pretty simple. That's where you're going to go. That's where I'm going to be going. I'm pretty tight on all this stuff. Like, I don't need it to give me the checking and credit cards, all that good stuff, because I have my other accounts to tell me that. So I've already categorized all this stuff. The way I categorize stuff, I'll show you, is I didn't really do much in recurring. This is kind of cool, though. It shows you stuff that's coming, so you can kind of figure out, like, hey, is there any new stuff? But like I said, it seemed to be really good at it was really, really good at what's what I'm looking for? Automatically categorizing stuff. Here, let's see. View edit details. Let's see if it'll let me categorize it. Oh yeah, so I already have it set to pets. Let's see if I have a rule. I probably do. Changed category to pets. So if I add a rule, oh, here we go. So this is perfect. So what it does is it'll say match on. So whenever you change a category of a transaction anywhere, it'll prompt you for this if you don't already have a rule. So this was kind of cool, right? You can say contains pet meds. I want to match on name. And then I can say continue. And what it'll do is it'll change all these. I mean, obviously I'm just doing it already to pets, but so we'll hit continue. It'll hit save rule. And now any transactions coming in the future for 1-800-PET-MEDS will automatically fly to that. And this is the little back arrow. So that's kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of cool. Not my greatest thing, but so I'll probably be spending a lot of time in here. I don't know if I'll be so much this month. I mean, sometimes I'll probably want to look at this month. And this to me is where Rocket Money just falls apart for me. And I asked them for a text, but I'm going to keep it because the price point's really good and there's some good functionality in here. It's just going to be kind of a nuisance for me. And if anybody else uses something that does this better, that's great. Like, I really don't care. Like, let's just look at the year. I mean, you can do all these custom things, which is great. All right, so this is my 2025 so far, right? and it shows me all these things, and that's fabulous, right? Okay, well, this is a percent of spending, this percent of change, but that's not really what I want to know, right? What I really want to know is how much did I expect to spend on that, and how close am I getting to that number? So if I'm expecting to spend 1,100 a month on food before kids leave in the budget, then how close am I getting to that? Am I off target? Am I crazy? Am I nuts? That's to me the whole purpose of this budgeting software is so I can monitor how's my actual doing. Because if my actual is all out of whack, and guess what else is out of whack? All my projections, because all these budgets are based on that. So that's probably the biggest disappointment here. And I reached out to Rocket Money for that and said, hey, I'd really like to know where I'm at versus my budget, not where I'm at as a big percentage of spend, because that doesn't help me much. If I'm spending all my money on vacation, I may be spending 80% of it. But if that's what the plan was, that's okay. But I can't see that. It's just a little bit, it's a little nutty, but it's still kind of cool. I use this to figure out where my stuff was. I got all the uncategorized stuff and then changed it and fixed it. Um, so that's this screen, and you can drill down on any of this stuff if you're not sure what the number is. It's probably a little bit slower because of the screen sharing. So, it'll show it. Here's all the stuff we did on vacation, and that was pretty easy. The way I did vacation is I just selected a range. So what I did is I went into transactions, selected the range of the dates on my vacation, and said change them all. So that was a pretty easy ask from Rocket Money. So that was nice functionality. I think I can do that in Right Capital too. But all right, so we're hitting this back. I did notice sometimes that it's a little slow on the website when you start asking for a lot of data. I'm hoping that that's not going to be too bad. Hopefully, I'm going to be now. I was hitting that slowness because I was changing lots of data. Because literally, I imported all my data from my checking account and from my credit card account. So that's a lot of transactions that I had to process. So a lot of times I was looking at a lot of transactions and changing them and getting them all set up. So you'll see this is my amounts, and it seems to be relatively straightforward. What I did was if I saw something that just looked suspicious, I would drill into it, make sure everything looked good. You can split transactions in here. So if you go in here and you see something and you go, hey, I want to split this with another category, you can do splits, and you can do them by percentage, by amount, things like that. So that was kind of cool, because the example for that for me, and actually I hit this, is we went to Philly over the weekend and everyone had cash except for me. The funny thing is, the people I was with, one of the person I was with almost always has credit, but he brought cash that day. So I ended up eating the whole bill for the restaurant, but they gave it to me in cash. So what I did is I tracked down that restaurant bill in here and I split it. I said, hey, here was my portion of that bill. And then I have another category I created called reimbursed. But if you've seen any of my budget stuff before, reimbursed by friends, I'll put it in there, and that category is set to ignore, because it should be a net zero for me. I'll take that cash and spend it somewhere else. If it's cash, I'll probably forget all about it. In all honesty, I don't do a lot with cash. I actually prefer credit, even when you've got to pay a little. Okay, so that's this guy. I'll probably spend. It's tough. Like I said, without giving me what my budget was, like I know my budget really well, so I will probably be able to look at this and know if I'm on track. But I really want the software to do that. That's the point. And that's what Right Capital does. And Right Capital isn't even a budgeting tool. So I don't know, really disappointed. So anyhow, here's the budgets. It's geared month to month. So what I did is I went into the month and I deleted some. Like you can go in, if you hover, see this delete, like they had some default ones. I deleted them. And then what you have to do is you have to go in here and add all of your custom budgets. All the ones that I added, the custom ones I added in here, I deleted their defaults. So that's what I did here. Now what I'm hoping is when we hit, this is August. Notice it didn't put them in July, and I don't feel like, and it's not even letting me add stuff in July. But I don't think that's really a problem, because when I go to, I've categorized all of those transactions when I went by year. So it shouldn't be a problem, but it is kind of weird. I don't know. So I guess to me, it should be able to show you that. So, but it's working for August. We'll see. When I go to September, I'm guessing what'll happen is all these will get populated with these. This is the budgeted. So when you add these budgets here, it's not going to give you an amount because theoretically that's right, right? I could budget something different every month for a different category. Lord knows how anyone could maintain their finances that way. So you'll just see the budgeted amount. I don't know why I have 581. That must be a typo. Well, let's look. Well, I'll look at another time. Car gas 200, car insurance 160, car repairs 200. This shouldn't even be here. Let's take a look at. Well, this is a great example. So let's drill into it. Oh, maybe that was their default. Oh, okay. Watch this. So I'm going to put this at 0 because I don't have a category called auto and transport. I have car and gas and car insurance. And I'm going to delete that guy. Yes, delete. Okay, cool. So this just has all my stuff in it now. This is my budget, what it looks like, and I put all these numbers in. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if next month, when we hit September, if it'll roll all these numbers over. I don't care about net worth. That really just doesn't bother me. Okay, so this is just like Right Capital. This is where if you have to do a lot of bulk changes and stuff, you're going to do it here. And that's exactly what I was doing. So what I did is I literally came in here and I said, give me this year. And then I said, and this is where things get a little slow because I think it has so many, not that I spend tons, but it has so many transactions. I just think the HTML has problems. So I went in here and I said, I think I started with uncategorized and I just said, give me any uncategorized stuff. It should search when I click somewhere. Okay, and you'll see how so deposits, I don't really care about any of this stuff. I know that's weird, but I look at a budget. And this is for me. This isn't maybe somebody who's, a little junior. Nobody watching this show probably, but anybody who's a little junior, maybe they care about this stuff. I mean, when I was a professional, I knew exactly how much I made. So you can see here, I can go in and I can just put in, they give you a category called ignore because I don't really care about that. This was taxes, external deposit, IRS Treasury. So I'll go in here and I'll call this taxes because net, that'll, if it's a plus and minus. I don't know what this is. Oh, Ninja D. Oh, I know what this was. So I had gone out with a friend of mine. We joined a cornhole league. So I was using this. So we use this. I was to make T-shirts. So anyhow, if you wanted to change all these, you can just check them, and then you can say change the category, and you can go in here and say ignore. There's a lot of stuff you don't care about. But it's kind of nice. Right Capital only showed you like the negative numbers because in Right Capital's mind, the only thing that's expense is a negative, which is kind of true. But so anyhow, that's kind of what you're going to see. So I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to uncheck this guy. Where's the uncheck? I'm going to uncheck this guy, and it brings back everything. So this I spent a lot of time in this. Like in the last hour and a half or so, just getting everything set up, finding things that weren't categorized, making rules, things like that. So you may look at this too. I don't know. I don't care about my credit score. I mean, I do. I know my credit score, but I get it through some other means. So unfortunately, that's it. I haven't tried to export. I imagine it's just going to export this as a CSV with everything in it. Like I said, I think minus the showing me how far I am against my budget number, which is just mind-boggling in my mind that you can give somebody a thing and not give them the years and assume that every single thing you do is only for that month. Sounds like such an American thing, right? Like no wonder our kids are screwed up. This is the kind of training we teach them for budgeting, and it doesn't go beyond 1 month. Just a little nutty. It just doesn't teach them to plan. So that's it, and this is the premium. This is the pay grant. You can't, I can't write that much. It's only $3 a month. But so this is probably, this is kind of cool. This is showing you stuff where you have zero, that's probably in your budget, but you have zero. I don't know. So this is just this current month, which makes sense. It's early in the month. Um, if we wanted to look at the years, I go to yearly. I just look at the year. I'm going to end this in a second, so just hang tight with me. This is probably where I'll I'll look more in my time just to see did I miss anything crazy. I don't even care about. Oh, I haven't categorized my checks. That's what I have to do. That took me some time to write capital. That's why I didn't do it here. So I don't write checks very often, to be honest with you. Most of my checks are my wife doing charitable giving, and now she uses the credit card for that, um, and property taxes and the like. So, I don't pay much with checks. So we'll take a look. I'll look at this and I'll recategorize some of this stuff based on, you know, I'll have to go back into the bank and take a look and see what it is. So that's probably why you see cash and checks there. But this will probably be my sanity check thing. And the other thing too, it drives me crazy is make these stupid things clickable. Like, what if I'm comparing it? Like, eventually, what I'm going to compare it to my budget, right? So now I'm going to have to it's like all these issues I have, which just shows you my state of mind sometimes. Is I'm probably going to have to go into Bolden, print out my budget because um, wait, that's monthly too. See, it's just such a bozo the clown exercise. Like I should be able to embolden. Um, I don't want to bring this up because it defaults my mail and stuff like that, and I don't want that to be on public. But I don't think Bolden gives me the yearly either. To be honest with you, that's some of the problems I have. Like when you print Bolden, it's going to show the monthly too. So I'm going to have to play shenanigans with this thing, probably do it in Excel real quick and just say monthly times 12. But it's ridiculous, right? I shouldn't have to do that. Like it's a budgeting tool. And you would think if I had thousands and thousands of subscribers paying me $3 a month, I just 25 bucks a month seems ridiculous to me. Um, so anyhow, you look at this doesn't surprise me. Like I said, this means nothing to me, this percent change, because maybe I just didn't record stuff last year, which is what was happening. Um, I have a pretty big this I actually expect a little bit higher, but we'll see. I'll drill into it a little more. So anyhow, so this is probably I'm going to use this for a while and see how it goes. Just thought I would give you an update on that. Also, kind of look for your feedback. Like I said, I'm getting this for $3 a month. So if once a month I gotta like export something, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I want to export a yearly total of all this stuff. I'm probably gonna have to do. I'm probably just gonna have to. Oh, they won't even let you select it. Oh my gosh. Like they won't even. I guess I'll probably have to like do some game like this, copy, and then like do this and say like copy, and then I'll probably have to. I mean, this is just it's like the product managers who build this stuff are. It's like no wonder our kids are so screwed up. They don't know how to plan. They don't know how to plan beyond a month. Oh, use the software that'll help you plan beyond a month. It didn't work like it was supposed to. Sometimes if it's defined as a table in HTML, it'll paste here correctly. See, that's just I don't know, just annoys me. Match testing, keep source. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be screwed on that too. So I'll have to do some research on that. But like I said, if I have to just, I know my budget well enough to know if these numbers are out of whack. Um, I'm probably going to do an Excel thing. Is probably what I'm going to do, and I'm going to say, this is how much it is based on the current date. I'm probably going to put the whole budget in Excel, which let's face it, I'm whining about, but it'll probably take me 20 minutes. I'll put it in there. I'll do it times 12, or I'll do what is the current date in months, multiply it by that. So it kind of emulates a year to date kind of feature. And then I'll compare this to that and see if I got any red flags, So, but like I said, I just, I don't know, I'm going to gripe about it because like we're trying to teach our kids how to plan so that things aren't emergencies. Like, how do you plan for car repairs? How do you plan for house repairs? How do you plan? And yet the software doesn't make that easy, you know? I mean, I know that's kind of weird. I'm being active. The only thing I can think of is they have this other thing, which maybe this is what they do. There used to be these things called goals. Oh, this doesn't even have goals. It must be the $3 an hour price. I noticed some other stuff has goals, like where you can say, hey, I'm targeting saving $10,000 for a car. So that's my goal, and I don't see anything like that in here. But like I said, I'm gonna have a hard time at $3 a month giving them too much grief. Um, so anyhow, enough ranting for tonight. I'm vacation is coming. I'm actually going down to the Jersey Shore for 8 days in a couple days. So, I'm trying to record a few videos up front while I'm out, which it's very interesting in that I don't seem to have as many ideas when I'm on vacation and my wife is around. I'm actually sometimes I feel a little dry on ideas. Whereas when I'm by myself, I seem to come up with lots of stuff. But so have a great night. Keep trucking along. If you're still working and you're having a hard time, just do the best you can. Do the best you can do. Hang in there. Have a great night. Take care.